Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't scoff when they say it's the end. In this life, you know you can't pretend. The days pass by, they've set in stone. But it's not too late now for you to change your tone. Don't speak. Don't speak. Open your soul. Don't harden your heart. Don't speak. Don't speak. Open your soul. Don't harden your heart. Don't bask in a light that's not yours. We're not fighting a fictitious war. Don't boast about all the things that you've done, because in your hand you hold the gun. Your voice isn't gone, it's not been stripped away, but a broken record might as well not play. Don't speak. Don't speak. Open your soul. Don't harden your heart.
Hey everyone. First, I want to say good morning. It's great to see everybody. So many comments already in the chat, which is a beautiful thing. We are live streaming this right now into our Facebook public page. I put the link into our private group, and it's also live streaming on YouTube simultaneously. Okay, so click one of those links. All your comments are coming into me so I could see those. You need to click here, not comment in the Facebook page, which I should probably shut off the comments there. Just so you can all be here at the same place. The music intro you just heard is from a new artist. We're selecting music from Joe Leone. I will put his, it's an original composition. I will put his link. If you liked his music, you can go listen to the rest of his music on our social media page. So I will put that in the comments or the description of this video. So I just wanted to change it up a little bit. Thank you everyone. So lots of questions, I'm sure. I want to make this crystal clear from the front of this video so that the message does not get lost. Our fight's not over by any stretch of the means. The fight's not over. We have 3 cases. This closed the first case. There's still 2 more. And then the Bentkowski case, which is the 3rd case, the last case that we filed. That case is the one that determines whether or not the city has to provide more than just one plan, and they can force us into the Medicare Advantage. So we still have to make sure that the group stays together, we stay funded, and we can still pay for our attorneys because we still have plenty of fight left in us. We still have the copay case, and we have the Bentkowski case. So both of those are extremely important. Let's see what else. So Monday, I want to thank everyone that came out on Monday. Oops, multitasking. I want to thank everyone that came out on Monday to Occupy DC 37. That was a pretty wild day. You guys came and stayed out in the rain and the cold, and it was a nutty day. John Field says World Trade Center funding bill is a done deal. Well, so I also have a message about that. Let's talk World Trade Center quick before I jump back into this. The World Trade Center bill, while it's funded, the program is broken. There's a ghost network. They're not approving people's care. There's no doctors in that program for people. When you call the World Trade Center National Program and ask for doctors or hospitals or appointments, you could wait weeks, if not months, for an appointment. So I'm glad that the funding is there, but organizations have to get together to fix the national program. There's 2 more years on that contract, or 1 more year, 1.5 years left on that contract. That is still a broken plan. It has the funding. Now fix the issue. So while I'm glad that the funding came in, whoever username is, I don't know who you are that's posting that from YouTube, but understand something. That program is even worse than what we're dealing with now. Okay, back to the why we're here, because that's really the important part. You can put your questions in the chat, and and I will just start picking them up. So Monday, DC 37. We went to DC 37 when we were standing outside to protest outside their headquarters. And then they started closing all the shades when they heard us, because on that side of the building on Murray Street was where they were doing their meeting upstairs, I think like on the 3rd floor or something. So we had our billboard truck out there with all of our videos and our still photos and our messaging going to people who were in there. As we understand, and we still have not been fully briefed on this yet, so I'm hoping to get some of this done today, that we'll find out who was in that room and what kind of a conversation there was. But I can tell you a little bit about it, of what I was told. So when the district council staff was trying to hide us, they pulled the shades down. They didn't want the people in the conference room to see that we were outside or see the billboard truck, or for us to be a distraction. They decided to close the shades, and some of the staffers, though, from other offices were peeking through the shades to see what was going on downstairs. We thought that was kind of interesting, but what can I tell you? They clearly were curious as to who we were and why we were there. Then we had split up the group. We had part of our retirees on one side of the building and part of our retirees on the back side. When security closed and secured the doors on the side of Murray Street where we were, we decided to move the rally to the other side of the building, to the main entrance. So we decided that that's where we needed to go. Both sides of the group decided to converge together and stand in front of DC 37 headquarters. When we were still on Murray Street, we had a lot of support. We had current councilwoman Christy Marmorato from the Bronx came to speak to us and share her support. She stood with us in solidarity, and when they would not allow us upstairs, she left the meeting and refused to go upstairs. So she stood with us. You had a gentleman, Adafi Akporo. You've met him a few times. He joins us at many of our events, and he also spoke at our event. He's running for city council. He's running for Sean Abreu's district, knowing that Sean Abreu has not supported us at all. And then you had Jim Walden, who came to speak with us. Jim is running for mayor of the city of New York. So I'll put those candidates that are running for office in our next newsletter, so you know how to find them. And if you want to do a small grassroots donation to them, their campaign donation fundraisers are running through January 12th. So if you want to donate to them, now is the time to do it, because through I think it's January 12th, is the time that they get their matching funds through Campaign Finance Board. So small grassroots donations are absolutely wonderful. So those are the 3 people that have been supporting us, that came out to speak with us. When we went to the main entrance of DC 37, we decided to walk in and see what the story was. Would they let us in? Because we knew that there was a meeting going on in the building. So we all walked in and I said, so where's Henry? And they're like, well, he's not here. I'm like, what do you mean he's not here? Oh, well, where's the meeting for the city council? Well, it's by invitation only. Well, we're DC 37 retirees. This affects us. And they didn't want to let us upstairs. So we decided to occupy the lobby. We brought our posters and we had our Shirley Chisholm sayings and we had our chairs that we brought with us and we just occupied the lobby. Then we saw people walking in. Henry walked right past everyone. And Joe Maniscalco from Work Bites happened to take a picture of him like by people in the lobby. And then went up to the meeting. So the meeting started about 3:00. I think it must have been about 5 when they finally broke. There was only about 10 council people in the room, and I don't know who they were. I know that Councilman Marte was there, and I know from my understanding, so was Councilwoman Carmen De La Rosa, who did also has our bill in her committee. So other than that, I honestly don't know who else was in that room. So I can't really tell you, but I'm hoping to get the briefing on that soon. Basically, what they said was Henry was justifying screwing us because he said that he didn't have enough money to pay for active workers and retirees. He tried to justify putting us into a Medicare Advantage plan, that he had no other choice to do it because there isn't funding available. And I had to let them know unions don't pay for health care for Medicare eligible retirees. Our costs are so low that the cost of our plan is actually a line item in the budget. And the only reason that a union would pay for health care would be the stabilization fund, which they've misused and destroyed, would be for an active worker or under 65 retiree. And part of that reason is their fault. They have constantly negotiated down the HIP rate. Now, active workers, if you're listening to this message, you need to listen to this because this affects you. Unions today, active unions, under the leadership of the Municipal Labor Committee, are suppressing the benchmark, the HIP rate in the administrative code. They are suppressing it to reduce what the city has to pay, therefore draining the stabilization fund faster. And then you guys have also, some of the active workers have been messaging me, asking why it is that they're constantly having prior authorization denials and more copays. That's because this body of the Municipal Labor Committee keeps negotiating them. They want to be able to say that you have premium-free quality health care, but it's premium-free. You're not paying a premium, but they're nickel and diming you to death on everything else. And this is not smart negotiating. So when Henry told these council persons that he had to screw retirees in order to finance the active workers, that's pretty ugly. So my question to them was, how does he keep saying that the bill violates collective bargaining and he's out of money when he is the collective bargaining agent for the union? He should be negotiating for more money, not complaining to city council. After all, what he's saying is our bill interferes with, right? So the funny thing was, in this meeting, Henry never brought up the fact that the bill doesn't, in his opinion, the bill violates collective bargaining. He never brought up that complaint in this meeting. He justified what he did for doing it because he said he had no money, gaslighting everyone that he pays for Medicare eligible retirees, which he doesn't, and justified what he did. So at least it opened up a conversation, and we probably have to have a few of these meetings on our own to invite council members to hear the real side, because that they're not going to invite us to a meeting like this is absolutely despicable. We know that the speaker's office was represented because one of the people we saw walk by us behind the security desk was Jeff Baker, who's legislative doc. He's part of that area, the council to the council. He's part of that whole area that consults for the attorney, he is the attorney that consults for the speaker, advises the speaker. So that's DC 37. Let's see what questions you have before I move on. That was one heck of an attraction. Kudos to those who did that. I know, that was really fun. Sometimes you just got to find a way to get your message across. Sandra, I understand the case for copays. If we won, yeah, we didn't. This case had nothing to do, Sandra, with the copay case. Nothing. If we won yesterday to keep our medical plan, I think your message is incomplete. I'm not seeing the full sentence. Laura, oh my God, just saw you were live. What a week. Thanks, Marian. Oh, you're welcome, Laura. Oh, this looks like your second part. Yesterday, to medical plan, can they bring in the HMO again? Sandra, I'm a little confused by your question, but you should always have a choice of plans. That's what the unions all agreed to during our tenures, and that's what we were promised, was a choice of plans. So I can't really tell you what's going to happen yet, because part of, I think, what that question you're asking has to do with Benkowski, that other case, the nuclear option case, and that case hasn't been even argued yet. Let's see. Congratulations on another win. 2 more cases to go and we shall overcome. Please continue with your donations to your best ability to support the cause. Thanks and have a great day. Happy holidays. Thanks, Jeff. We appreciate that sentiment. We're going to make Adams a one-term mayor. Great news. Do we still have to pay copays? Bobby, this case had nothing to do with copays. This is the first case, not the second case. Keep up with us. There's 3 different litigations. This is the 12-126 case. What is the administrative code? The second case is the copay case. The third case is the nuclear option, Benkowski. This had nothing to do with that. And I'll read you one of our press statements in a minute. Yes, Laura, DC 37 was by invitation only, and we weren't invited. Jeanette says, heartfelt thanks to all who are representing those of us who could not go due to health issues on location. You're welcome, Jeanette. Let's see, username. I believe Arthur Goldstein wrote the UFT voted to support Intro 1096. I understand that was something that was passed yesterday. I did see a post on that, but I just really haven't been on social media to read that. To read that post, but I will do that today. Good morning, David. We received our new cards with copay. Yes, Helen, those have been coming out for 2 weeks. Mary, employees from DC 37 who were leaving the building were taking pictures of the truck. Okay, so Mary, this is another interesting thing you guys will be interested in. Henry Garrido told the people in that conference not to pay any attention to the people in the lobby because they were teachers, not DC 37 retirees. This tells you how removed Henry is he doesn't know how many of us were DC 37 retirees, including me. That is how insane that was. How many people were DC 37 that were there? He told those people, he told all the council members and their staff, don't pay attention to them. Those are just teachers. And the retirees don't even live in New York. That's wrong. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. So it was really ugly. And what was pretty awesome about that was that some of the reporters, like Work Bites, had interviewed some people telling who they were and where they worked. So that was even more proof that there were people in the lobby that were DC 37 retirees. Lloyd Archer and TWU. So Lloyd, I want you to know some of your retirees. I think I did an interview with a gentleman was in the lobby with us at DC 37. I just want you to know that. So we did have TWU representing, also standing with us. No, Bobby, this decision doesn't override copays. It had nothing to do with the copay case. Let's see. Sounds like he is not collective bargaining at all. Well, no, because I almost wonder, was he begging for money from the district, from the city council? I don't know. If you're the executive director of DC 37, you should be asking the city for money, negotiating for more money, not doing what you did. But what can I tell you? Emily, I don't understand it all, but I do understand that Marianne and her team care about me and you, and I really appreciate the hard work. Thank you to her and her team of wonderful people who are able to go to the gatherings and standing in for me. Emily, you're absolutely welcome. There really isn't too much. I'm not sure where your confusion is, but this defines what the city has to pay up to. And I'll read one of our press statements in a few minutes, and maybe it'll clear up some stuff for you. So Laura says, Henry aligned himself with Eric Adams and city bureaucrats instead of protecting us through lies. Yes, he did. Marianne says, you guys are amazing. Well, you guys are amazing too, because without you, we'd never be able to do this. Ann Noodle Leone, why is RTC siding with New York Healthcare? So, Ann, there's a large contingent of employees, active workers, and some retirees, especially those that live in New York State, that are very supportive of the New York Health Act. The New York Health Act does have a lot of benefits, like there's no copays, and there's no networks, and there's no prior authorization, and you get a long-term care plan. The only issue I have with it is one in that for those retirees that live outside of New York State, there isn't a coverage covered under that plan. You would continue to be covered under your employer. And then that the bill does provide that within 18 months that there would be a committee to try to figure out how to include those people under the plan. So to be honest with you, unions a couple of years ago all supported it. And then they came up with this like crazy complaint that they had to, who was going to pay them back for all their years of collective bargaining for the healthcare that they have, which doesn't make any sense because now you're being given a healthcare plan. Healthcare is going to be taken off the collective bargaining table. You no longer have to negotiate away your benefits. It's disingenuous for a union leader to say, well, we have premium free high quality healthcare. No, you have premium free healthcare that you keep watering down. It's not high quality anymore. All the messages I'm getting from active workers, they are angry that they have these prior authorizations and these high copays. And of course, the ones that we have a very small population of people that are in the HIP program, but we have a lot of people that are in the emblem plan, CBP, GHI CBP plan. So if you keep watering down your healthcare plan or putting obstacles in, or as Claire Levitt likes to say, well, we implemented behavior modification by implementing copays to make sure people don't go to the hospital. Like, why would you do that? You need to do an education campaign to tell people to go to your GP. If your GP is not available, go to an urgent care. But one of the things that they're not addressing is, why are people doing that? Well, when you have an arcane system of where you're requiring employees to come with a sick note every time they're out sick, well, then where are they going to get that sick note from? And knowing that now, especially after the pandemic, you can't get in to see your GP for weeks or months. I used to be able to get an appointment on the same day. I cannot get an appointment on the same day anymore. I'm lucky if I can get an appointment within a few weeks. So if they're not going to fix the problem or address the problem, they're never going to fix it. They're just going to keep kicking the can down the road and sticking a Band-Aid on an issue without ever really addressing the issue. So that's what I have to say, Anne, about the New York Health Act. Thanks from Illinois. You're welcome. Let's see. Igor says, so we still have to pay the $15 copay after January. Yes, Igor, that case has not been argued. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying that. It's not yet been in the court. You got to hang tight on that. I know it's frustrating. I know it is. Many of you don't have large pensions. I'm one of those people. But the problem is, I didn't make this deal. This goes back to the union leaders that thought it was okay to keep putting copays on people to finance their contracts. And yes, it happened in the dark of night. And no, we didn't know about it. But We're trying to fight it the best that we can. I just need you to be patient on this because I can't move this any faster. When do you think the city will try to litigate the benchmark issue? So that's the Benkowski, the benchmark issue. Walter, 12-126 was the benchmark issue. Benkowski is the nuclear option issue where they killed all of the plans that we have available to us to force us into one plan. Okay, the Aetna Medicare Advantage. This was the benchmark decision. So give me a few more minutes. Let me get through some of these questions because there's a lot here, and then I'll go into the court case decision. Kathy, retirees are amazing. I'm always fascinated when I hear about these closed meetings. The BS that runs through my mind is the politician and union leader preaching transparency. When this happens and the affected people can't say their side of correct information, you know the lies are being spread like wildfire through the secret. I know, absolutely. So let's see. Janet, 2 related questions. Does the Campion decision lend the lie to what UFT Unity people keep saying that 12-126 interferes with collective bargaining? 12-126 doesn't interfere with collective bargaining. That's because the bill is only for current retirees, not in unions. So it doesn't interfere. If so, where in the decision does it refer to that? It doesn't have to refer to that. Unions don't represent retirees. Go back and look at our Labor Law 101 series, and I clearly lay out that a union cannot negotiate for a current retiree. They also keep saying 1096 is different from 1099. It is. It is my understanding that they're the same. Am I wrong? 1096 is not 1099. And will this court decision help recruit? I have no idea if it'll recruit more council members. So 1099 was a 2-sentence bill. One, it said that the city must pay the full cost of a supplemental plan. The 1099 said that the city has to provide a Medigap plan like we have today. It doesn't have to provide the senior care plan, but it has to provide a plan like it. And the second sentence says nothing in the bill will impair a union from collective bargaining. 1099 is a full version of that. We took the original bill that Amanda Farias had left sitting in Ledge Dock and didn't do anything with, and we stripped it down to 2 sentences that became 1099. We went back to the full version because if they were making the same excuses over a 2-sentence bill, we figured go right back for the full version. There's no reason to play. They are perpetuating lies and then running on misinformation. And the crazy thing is we identified there's like 10 council persons that are attorneys. Like no one's using common sense in this. It's just horrible. It's like the failed lawyers club. Congratulations to us all. We are indebted to Marianne, our legal team, admins, and all of us. Yes, please continue to donate like your life depends on it. Douglas, the UFT chapter passed that. Yes, I read about that. I just haven't read the statement yet. Can't thank you enough. Does this mean? This means right now that yes, right now we keep our plans the way that they are. They can't make a change yet until maybe, we'll have to see what happens with what the court hears the Benkowski case, what decision they might come up with. Hopefully they affirm the 2 lower courts, and then I think we're good. But understand something. They're not going to give up. The mayor doubled down yesterday and said he was driving forward to push everyone in Medicare Advantage. So, and I'll get to that too. Can the city still appeal? Not on this case, Tanya. This one's closed. Yes, we are teachers and we are teaching them the truth. Yes, we are, Mary. Pretty crazy. Henry and Eric are kindred spirits, rocket scientists. I know. Brian, let's see. If we win the copay case down the line in 25, will we get reimbursed for the reinstituted copays? Keep all your receipts because I don't know what's going to happen if you're paying a copay. Okay, let's see. Carol, Garrido is gaslighting us. Do we still need to get 1096 passed? Yes. Now even more so because the mayor is telling everyone, the press, he's going forward. He doesn't care. Okay, I'm going to leave these questions here and then get back to them. Now, let's go into the second part, the court decision. So, we put out 2 press releases yesterday, and I want to read one of them. This is the one that we wrote last night with Councilman Chris Marte's office. It says, today, the New York City Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, issued a historic decision in favor of 250,000 Medicare-eligible retired New York City workers and their dependents. The court held that the city must continue to pay the entire cost of any health insurance plan retirees select, thus preserving their right to city-funded Medicare supplemental insurance. The court issued a unanimous decision. That's 7 judges, by the way. If anyone ever says to you about anything about this decision, it's been in 3 different courts before 13 judges, and we've had unanimous decisions every time. The court issued a unanimous decision affirming the victories achieved by the retirees in the lower courts, rejecting the city's argument that the city can cease funding retirees' health insurance. The court held that, quote, the city must pay up to the statutory cap for each health insurance plan that it offers employees and retirees. The decision is available here, and then there was a link and today on our Facebook page. I'll put it in the newsletter so you guys could read it in there too. The Court of Appeals held, through the city's health benefits program, the city offers retirees a choice of health insurance plans, and one of those choices is senior care, the plan chosen by the vast majority of retirees. The court held that under the New York City Administrative Code 12-126, the city is required to pay the entire cost of whichever health insurance plan a retiree selects. The city need not pay more than the statutory cap, end quote, which is the cost of the HIP HMO plan. The cost of senior care is below the cap, meaning that the city has to pay the entire cost of senior care. In 2021, the city announced that it would stop paying the retirees' Medicare supplemental insurance and automatically switch them into a federally funded, far inferior type of insurance called Medicare Advantage. Unlike Medicare supplemental insurance, Medicare Advantage plans limit access to doctors and hospitals and regularly deny coverage for necessary care. Under the leadership of Marianne Pizzatola and the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees, retirees banded together and sued to protect their right to Medicare supplemental insurance. Retirees have secured 11 wins since they began fighting back in 2021, literally in the middle of a pandemic. Councilmember Christopher Marte from District 1 stated, today's ruling is a monumental victory for the 250,000 retirees who dedicated their lives to serving New York City. The Court of Appeals has made it clear the city cannot break its promises to those who built this city and safeguarded its future. Retirees deserve access to the health care that they were guaranteed, care that is vital to their very well-being and dignity. This decision is a resounding rejection of efforts to defund retiree health care, and it underscores the need for us as elected officials to prioritize people over profits. I stand proudly with the retirees and will continue to fight to ensure their healthcare choices are protected. As such, we must pass Intro 1096 to enshrine retiree healthcare once and for all. Marianne Pizzatola, president of the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees, states, the city's plan to defund retiree healthcare has now been analyzed by 13 different judges across 3 levels of the state's judiciary. Every single judge, all 13 of them, have concluded that the city's plan is unlawful. We once again call on the city and the Municipal Labor Committee, with the leadership of DC 37, UFT, Sanitation, CWA Local 1180, and Teamsters Local 237, to end their ruthless and unlawful campaign to deprive retired municipal workers of the healthcare benefits they earned. The constant suppression of the HIP rate and passing of copays on unionists must end. Constantly putting the elderly, disabled, line of duty widows and widowers, and 9/11 responders through this is cruel and inhuman. That was the statement that we put out last night. In the morning, we put out one that was very similar with the added comments from our attorneys. Jake Gardner, a partner at Walden, Mockton, Harron and Williams, LLP, counsel to the retirees, said, "We are grateful to the Court of Appeals for affirming the healthcare rights of hundreds of thousands of elderly and disabled retired city workers. Because of today's decision, countless senior citizens and disabled first responders will be able to continue receiving the medical care that they desperately need and to which they are entitled." Steve Cohen, a partner at Pollock & Cohen, who also represents the retirees, states, "We are thrilled that the Court of Appeals agrees that city retirees deserve what they were promised, payment for their health plan of choice." So those are the official statements of the organization. It's important that you guys start to understand if you have any gray areas like of what this means, but active workers need to understand what was done. More so them, because you guys as retirees have been following us and should mostly understand where we are at with this. This case has now reached the highest court. There are no more appeals. We have now won the Campion case. Case closed. It's done. 3 courts, 13 judges, finished. This is what the city has to pay up to, and that the cost of our supplement is under the benchmark and they have to pay it. We now move into the copay case and the Bentkowski case. The Bentkowski, we call it the nuclear option because the mayor killed all choices of plans to force us into the Aetna Medicare Advantage. So now I'm going to go back into the comments and questions and start to go through those. Marsha Hunter, I wasn't able to sign on at the beginning of the video. Could you please repeat the important info? Marsha, you can go back and replay this, whether you're on, I show you on Facebook. You can go back and play this when I'm finished, or you can also watch it on YouTube. It'll still be there when we're done. Any word from Eric? Eric, glad you asked that, Eileen. Okay, Eric's comment is this. And this is why I said we need to do the legislation. Eric Adams, the Adams administration wasted no time yesterday issuing a statement saying it will continue to pursue its privatization scheme. This was in Work Bites, by the way, by Joe Maniscalco. So if you want to see the full article, go to Work Bites. While we are disappointed, quote, "While we are disappointed in the court's decision today, we will continue to pursue the Medicare Advantage plan, which would improve upon retirees' current health plan and save hundreds of millions of dollars annually, and await the court's next decision in the coming year," said Liz Garcia, Adams' deputy press secretary, in a statement. The city will argue that while the Court of Appeals decision says it must pay for any health insurance plan it offers retirees, it doesn't say it has to provide a particular type of plan. And so for anyone in the United Federation of Teachers that's listening, Michael Mulgrew walked back his support for Medicare Advantage. Well, this should be a direct invitation for the United Federation of Teachers, side by side, its retired teacher chapter, to make sure that Medigap stays on the table. And that would be a victory. Okay. Janice, no, without you, we wouldn't have been able to do this. No, really, without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to do this either. I think Speaker Adrian Adams may be even more evil and against us than Eric Adams. Can the people vote her out? You sure can, but I think she's term limited. So just make sure that if she decides to pop up somewhere else, nobody votes for her. But we'll get to that later. Let's see. Would this be considered a precedent? It would be if this was, remember, this was specific, Eric, on the statute that governs the city healthcare. So it would only be if there was a precedent like this code that they could show that there was something in place that prevented them from doing that to that party. So this was kind of specific to New York City retirees. I don't think this would I know you're TWU. I don't think this would benefit them, but It does show, though, that when there's a law that says they must do something, which would be similar to your contract, if your union contract says something, they have to live up to that. This court was literally trying to break down what the law meant or what was implied when they went to do it. Let's see. Someone in the Unity camp yesterday at the RTC meeting was still brewing how we had choice. Okay, so this is such a misnomer coming out of the Unity Caucus. No, the Unity Caucus was advocating for choice, but they were advocating the choice to pay for healthcare. If you remember, those 5 UFT retirees sat at the city council and they all wanted their senior care, but they were advocating to pay for it. You could put the rest of those riffraff into that Medicare Advantage plan. We want to pay for our senior care. That was the choice that they wanted. And they still just don't get that. Let's see. Goldstein claimed his resolution for UFT support bill intro 1096. Even firemen need heroes. I hear you. Senator Rivera spoke at the RTC meeting yesterday regarding a healthcare bill he is trying to get passed. Is this the same one? No, Karen. He is introducing a bill for the New York Health Act, not our bill. So he's trying to convince the unions to get behind his bill. It's completely different. This bill would create a statewide health plan that would provide you health benefits, no copays, no networks, no prior authorizations. It would provide you with a long-term care policy. And if many of you have been reading some of the comments and the post from John Blau, from our retiree, one of our retirees, who was explaining how his long-term care plans happened to skyrocket in premium, that's a huge benefit for someone in the New York Health Act. The only issue, as I mentioned before, is it does not cover retirees that live outside of New York State. It would leave those people on their former employer's healthcare plan. They'd still have coverage, just not in this plan. And his bill does provide that there would be a committee in 18 months that would hopefully come up with a solution to that. Joel, New York Health Act solves the problem of both the retirees, the New York City government, and the union leaders who support Medicare Advantage. Well, and Joel, if you just heard what I said, it does not, however, solve the issue for those retirees living outside New York State. That is still an up in the air question, and that is in the bill. Deborah Scott, thank you so much, Marion team. You're welcome, Deborah. Anne says thank you. Karen, thank you, Marianne legal team, for your timeless efforts on retirees' behalf. All of us are winners in so many ways because you are leading the battle against the unconscionable and unjust leaders of the union and city government. You're welcome, Karen, but like I always say, this is a team effort because we can't do this unless we stay together. This is how important this is. Lori, so it seems to me that we have to win the nuclear option case so they don't try to screw us. I might say that's a fair assessment, but just like every time we've won, they've tried to do something else. Mark my words, I'm making a wager. We win all cases, let's say, hypothetically, right? We win everything. Then I think we've won because we preserved the HIP rate, we've preserved 12-126, we've preserved the benchmark, and we preserved the choice of plans. Do you know what they will do next? They will try to kill the HIP rate. They will try to destroy the HIP plan. Mark my words, today is December 18th, 2024. It's 10:54 a.m., and I'm making a wager that if we win, someone's got to take notes. If we win all of our cases, the city will try to kill the HIP plan that sets the benchmark. That's my prediction, which means we're going to be together a long time. Louis, you need to get one of the New Jersey drones to oversee the meeting. What, like hover outside DC 37? We will win our copay. I hope we do, Helen. Danny, we again did not even argue the copay case. There's nothing argued yet. This hasn't even been argued. It's not even gone to court other than getting it certified as a class action. It's not been argued. Let's see. Laura, someone from Unity Camp spoke angrily at yesterday's RTC meeting and that we fought against choice. Imagine after 4 years, after all the explanations, well, the Campion win should shut them up. They are an interesting crowd. That's just all I'm going to say. Robert Anthony, according to what my doctor's office said, January, $15 copays for visits, $15 copays for blood work. Yes. Is this correct if it's at the same visit? To my understanding, yes. Roberta, so Brand Lander's statement made me nervous. What do you think? I don't know why it made you nervous. I think he was a little off on what he said. It doesn't finalize anything. We're not finished. There's still more fight in this, is what we have to keep saying. This fight is not over. We won one case, one, and there's still more left. Like, this doesn't fix everything. The UFT warned retirees against Medicare Advantage around 2000. Yes, they've made many rezos against Medicare Advantage and supporting traditional Medicare. How they fell off the ledge, I just don't know. Gerald Nelson, if De La Rosa wants to have a public city council hearing on our bill, the group should invite the city council members to a meeting we hold. We were talking about that the other day. Do we know which media covered us? So we were, check the chief leader, check the Bronx and Brooklyn Eagle, I guess. I think they're both Bronx Times and Brooklyn Eagle. Work Bites, WPIX, Channel 2, and I honestly don't remember any others. And there might be more coming. Because we were given interviews in Cranes. We gave another interview in Politico, I think. So there might be more coming out today. I can listen to this over and over. Well, thank you, Regina. Marte told me Garrido is the reason council members won't support us. And he would be correct, because he has become the misinformation mecca of the city, spreading misinformation. And he's okay to harm retirees. Now he's saying it's because he doesn't have money. So we'll have to see how we could fix that. But we will be starting the email campaign probably this week. I just got to draft it up. So give me a little bit of time. I'd like to try to get that out of the way today. If not today, it should be up tomorrow. Irene, I do greatly appreciate all that you have done. So grateful. And I'm grateful that you guys are with us. Will the group start an email campaign to councilors? Yes, we will, Gerald. Any word from Mulgrew? No words. Thank you for everything in yesterday's case. How does that not end the nuclear option? Because it's a completely separate case, Bruce. Bentkowski is the nuclear option case. Bentkowski is a completely different case. That's why it doesn't fix that. Remember, we had 3 separate litigations. Active workers need to realize that in a blink of an eye that they are where we are and Medicare eligible, they will need what we are fighting for. And you're absolutely correct. This is why we keep repeating the message. Under this decision, I will still pay my lower cost share of supplemental plan unless Bentkowski does different. Carol, I'm not quite sure what your question means. The city still has to pay for senior care. That's what this case means. This case means the city still has to pay for senior care. Bentkowski has to do with choice of plans. Today, the city has to pay for your supplement. I read even Garrido, after another court loss, is open to supporting 1096. He just doesn't like the language. Well, I'm sure that I would be open to hearing what language he would like changed. That's all I'll say to that. Eric Adams might want to join Henry on his lonely Medicare Advantage island. That'd be nice. The euphemism disappointment is used instead of the word lost, and they're wrong. Kathy, if 1096 is passed, will it wipe out the next two cases? It would basically stop the litigation, yes. So that's why we really want to start to pressure counsel to sign on to the bill. Would you post a link to this morning's statement here? Would you post a link to this morning? Janet, what statement? My family is so very grateful to you for all that you did for this group. Oh, Janet, you're welcome. Marianne Maffeo Grady, thanks again for everything. You're welcome. Marcia, the court ruled the city must pay. The feds pay for MA, so how can the city still put us into MA? That's a question in Benkowski. Winnie Killips, thank you. You're welcome. Lisa, yes, you can rewatch this whole video when we're done. It'll be up on Facebook and on YouTube. It's being live streamed right now to both places. I started doing it this way so that I don't have to go in, download, and upload and edit. We try to make my life as easy as possible. This only happened because of you. No, Elizabeth, it happened because we had a team of people, including you, 50,000 people strong, giving little donations to help us across this fight. Would we still fight for retirees living outside New York State if the health care passed? So yeah, because we'd have to still make sure that we had access to health benefits and that everything stayed the same. That could create a little bit more, some confusion, but we don't go away just because they passed the Health Act. So we'll have to see what happens. Tina, I want to thank you 1,000 times. I will be Medicare eligible in February 2025 and currently have and pay for the option rider. Should I keep paying for that after I start getting Medicare? So, Tina, I don't remember what union you were in, but if your union does not, are you saying the optional rider, is that the drug plan or is that the hospitalization plan, that 365 hospital plan? There's different riders, so I don't know which one that you're talking about, and I don't remember which union you are. So if your union has a drug plan, you shouldn't be paying for the drug plan from the city. Unless, of course, your union drug plan is not creditable, which is exactly what we're now investigating with CWA Local 1180. Once we get that one out of the way, we're going to start to look at 237, and I think we were also asked about COBA. So I got to do one at a time because this gets a little crazy. Senator Rivera would not guarantee that out-of-state retirees would have their city coverage protected. I don't think he can. So it has to, for us, it would have to be that the city law still stays in place in order to protect what we have. Because if we didn't qualify for the New York Health Act because we no longer lived in the city, we would still be on city health benefits. Okay. Where can I see the press statements? I would like to share them. I can probably put them in the newsletter, Eileen. Just make sure you're registered for our newsletters. Thanks to all for this victory. We all must continue to contribute. Absolutely. That's the only way we're going to stay alive here. Together for a long time and sending in donations. And please, guys, do yourselves a favor. Go to one of the video that I had to create an account. If you create an account and you log in to make a donation, it auto-populates everything for you and it makes it easier. Reminder again, and I should probably run that banner at the end of this screen. We are ending Zelle and Venmo, so I need you to move over to the platform. Come the end of this month, in 2 weeks, we are ending Zelle and Venmo. So please create an account on our portal. You can log into it and make your donation right there. We have reporting requirements that we have to make to the government, so that we have to show who's reported, like how much was reported, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if we keep allowing you to donate through Zelle and Venmo, we can't do that reporting accurately. It's got to go through this payment system. So please help us out and then make sure you do that. Let's see. Whoever said you can't fight City Hall never met you. And I always say, like, my mother used to call me a pain in the ass, and she never really knew or appreciated the fact that that training might come in handy one day. So let's see if I skip through some of these. Yeah, I saw it on CBS, Janice. George, I don't know what your question means. If we win the copay case, do they have a spreadsheet? Do they have oh, I don't know what that means. James, there is no update on the DC 37 Retirees Association. Not to my knowledge. Carol, winning this case is the best holiday gift we could have, and thank you for always maintaining a good sense of humor. You're welcome. I try. Dan, the city asked the judge to give them an extension on giving the oral arguments and briefs to the court. The court granted them the extension for the copay case. Did he give them another date to be back in court to give? I honestly don't think they did yet. I don't have senior care. I have traditional. So Carol, senior care goes with traditional Medicare. Do you have a different supplement? Do you have like DC 37 Med Team, or senior care is a supplement to traditional Medicare? So what supplemental Medicare do you have? I'm going to keep going because there's a lot of comments in here. Great win. CSA was always reimbursing for Medicare costs. Does this reimbursement come from the city? So, Randy, I don't know what costs you're talking about. Medicare B reimbursement, if it's the premium that you pay out of your Social Security check, that comes from the city, not the union. If you're talking that CSA reimburses some of your copays, that comes from your union, and that's a benefit that they negotiated, or because they have extra money in their welfare fund that they can do that. That's not a city benefit. The only city benefit is the Medicare B reimbursement, okay? Johnny Jones, when, not if, 1096 passes, would that finalize this issue and then it would be codified? Yes, and it would end all litigation, which is what we're trying to do. Why does it appear council members are more opposed to our new bill than 1099? More pressure by Garrido and Adams and the MLC. I honestly have no idea, Gerald. But you guys will be finding out soon because you'll be emailing and calling them. Thank you, Anthony. He says he's very proud when I wear my Fidney shirt. Bless you. This is my Fidney shirt. This was my old job shirt. Joe, did you ever speak to Ariola in the last 3 weeks? When I spoke to her, she said the bill was not submitted properly and needed to be submitted by the co-prime sponsor from last year. I am being no expert. I asked her to call you, and she said she would call you as soon as she finished our phone call. She told me she was 66 and it would affect her also. She said she totally supports retirees. Okay, so Joe, I want to break this down. I called her. She didn't call me. When I saw your message, I called her and I called Phyllis from her office. She insisted that she believed and she was going to double check, but she felt that our bill was introduced from the floor improperly. And I said, no, the bill was introduced by procedure. And even if we did discharge the bill to the floor, which we haven't done, there's still a procedure for that. So she's making excuses. She doesn't support retirees. And hard stop, and I'm going to say this again. If they don't get on the bill, they don't support retirees. They cannot say that they support you and don't sign the bill to protect you. They're giving you lip service. Just like you tell someone, don't tell me you love me, show me you love me. Same thing. She wants you to support her. She wants to be reelected, or she might be running for higher office. She wants to say she's protecting retirees. She can't if she doesn't get on the legislation. There's nothing else to say about that. Randy Weingarten hasn't congratulated you on the coat. I have not heard from Randy for 2 years. People I know who are not retired heard the news and thought from the news report led them to think it was over and we won. No mention of our fight still being alive. I was surprised at their impression from the news. So, Kathy, I'm going to do a really short live stream video that'll probably be like 60 seconds and start blasting it out on social media and start waking up the active workers, because this is their future if they don't get involved. We didn't win. And that's why our attorneys in the press conference on Channel 11, which I don't even know if Channel 11 even ever aired the interview that they came to interview us for when we held the press conference. But hopefully that gets out, because that's exactly what they said. And if you read the chief leader, that's also what the lawyer said. This isn't over. Judy, let's see. You are amazing and brilliant. We are a team, but without you, there would be no team. Thank you for all you do. You are so appreciated. Thank you, Judy. And I appreciate you guys. Absolutely 100%. Janice, thank you for all your hard work. You're welcome. Jackie Lyle, you're amazing. Thank you. Tina says 1549 and the rider is for the third plan. Tina, so that means you're a DC 37. You should be getting your drug plan from the city you should be getting your drug plan from DC 37. The third plan, are you talking about that little rider that's like $3.50 a month for hospitalization? Lori, Marianne, taking the credit along with our team. You are the one running, schlepping, and working. I know I'm supposed to be retired. It's crazy. Court statement. Phoebe, I don't know what that says, but if you could email me that link, I'll try to check out what that is. You can rewind the live stream while it's playing for anyone that came late. You don't have to wait till it finishes. Thanks, Lisa. Hi there. I'm in CWA 1180 and have a rider. What are you investigating? So, Denise, if you are Medicare eligible, you are supposed to get your drug plan from the union. You cannot buy the drug plan from the city if you have a creditable Part D plan through your union. If you are Medicare eligible and you are CWA 1180, Gloria's team, who we called several times, is insisting that their plan is creditable. They won't prove it. And the components to the plan, like what you have to pay for or the caps, make us believe it's not creditable because it violates the rules of a creditable plan. So then we contacted OLR. OLR said to us that Medicare eligible retirees can purchase the drug rider from the city. Well, if you can purchase the drug rider from the city, their plan's not creditable. Gloria is insisting that it is, but now she's saying that if you're in the city's drug plan, you have to stay there. But if you're not yet in the city's drug plan, you can go into the union plan. That's a little discriminatory. So we demanded that they investigate this. And I think I got an email from them the other day. Hold on, I will double check that. Okay, so the email that I just got the other day said from OLR, with regards to the resumption of the $15 copays, effective January 1 to 25, please refer to the retiree section of the health benefit program website. So I guess they put an updated letter on the OLR website. They just are not mailing it out to everybody, which is just such a bad way of doing business. Second, OLR has directed the question that I'm asking concerning the creditable status of the Local 1180 Retiree Benefits Fund prescription drug plan to the union leadership for clarification. So they are now asking officially Gloria Middleton, even though Gloria has been copied on all those emails for the last couple of emails for the last 3 months, she hasn't answered them. But now it's coming from OLR and they're doing what they're supposed to do. So let's wait and see what happens. That's what I'm asking for. Because they shouldn't hide that. If it's truly creditable, then they'll tell you it's creditable. If not, I have nothing to say about that. Then what they're doing is a disservice to their members. Tina says, I have emblem 1549 and 1549 is my local. The rider is for Tina, you're going to have to email me. I need to see a photocopy of your stub. You can't keep saying it's the rider. There's many riders. So I need to know what the cost of the rider is. There's only a few riders. If you are in DC 37, your drug plan is from the union. The only rider you would be able to purchase is the 365 rider, and it's about $3 and change a month from the city. I need you to clarify that because I can't answer this question like this. So please email us at retirees@nycretirees.org. Oh, Phoebe, you were posting the court decision. I'll put that in the newsletter for everybody to read it. Carol, I think I'm going to call you when this is over because I don't think that what you're saying to me is accurate. If you would pull out your insurance card, so when this is finished, which I hope to finish very soon because we're already over an hour, your Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield Now Anthem is not a supplement. That is your hospitalization. If you have Anthem Medicare related, that's a different plan. So we need to clarify what that is that you have. Yes, Roberta, we were on channel 2 for sure because I actually saw it when I was on the plane last night. And I don't know if we ever made it to channel 11, but I'll reach out to Henry. Oh, channel 11 aired it at 11. Thank you, Marie. I'll try to see if I could record that. If someone is able to record it, let me know, but I'll try to do it as well. If I can't, I need a subscription. I'll let one of you know. Thank you, Renee. Channel 11 did have a brief airing of the win. That's because they were probably the only TV station that actually came to see us live. Thanks, Laura. My union's drug plan wasn't deemed creditable, put into Part D by my union. They're supposedly paying the cost of it. Channel 2 at 6 p.m. That's what I saw. And it was brief. I'll post that one because I literally recorded it. So it's best that I keep the rider. CWA will reimburse me for the amount that I pay. So to my understanding, Denise, please double check that, but I don't think they're reimbursing you for the full cost of the rider for the city. And that rider goes up to $150 a month. So make sure that if they're reimbursing you, that reimbursement increases too. But yeah. I'm going to reserve further comment. There's litigation, there's legislation, there's expulsion from office, then there's replacement of the new mayor. Question, I saw something in the Court of Appeals decision that looked like it said if any of the retiree study plans offered costs more than senior care, the enrollee should pay the difference. I have to go back and look at that. I don't remember seeing that. But yeah, I don't remember seeing that. Joe, thanks for answering my question about Areola. She told me I could call her directly on her cell phone anytime. I will call her later. I'll let you know what she tells me this time. I'm not in her district and was just happy to actually speak to a council member. Being she called me, I didn't give her a hard time. She is the only council person I was able to talk to in almost 4 years of phone calls. Well, thanks, Joe. She used to be more supportive than this. I don't know where she's coming off with this new statement. It's just like one excuse after another. Yes, I know, Diane, that CWA 1180 is saying that their plan is creditable, but they can't prove it, then it's not. They have to be able to prove it, and it has to be done annually by an actuary. There's nothing else to say about that. And the mere fact that the city is allowing CWA retirees to purchase a drug plan from the city is right there telling you CWA's plan is not creditable, because the city wouldn't allow you to purchase the drug plan from them if you could purchase it from the union where you're supposed to be getting it. Because remember, the union gives money, the city gives money to the union for every one of us for our welfare fund benefits. Like every person, every retiree gets the city gives the union like $1,500, $2,000 for every retiree for their plan, for their welfare fund benefit plans. They're getting money for that. They have to provide you with something. Fran, I don't know what this question refers to. Does this win includes retirees living outside New York? This win is for the court win is for every New York City retiree. Carol, I will call you. My 2 cents in your email, council members should list by name the council members who haven't sponsored. All right. Well, that would be everyone but 7. All right, guys, an hour and 12 minutes, and I've got work to do, and so do you. So I am going to go finish doing what I got to do here and try to draft up this newsletter and answer all these calls and text messages that I haven't gotten to. You guys stay focused, hang in there. Know that this is, what did they say? That saying, this is definitely not an event. It's a process. And we have a lot more to win, but this is huge that we were able to do this. So hang in there. I will see you guys Friday night. Hopefully I'll have more of an update for you with what happened at DC 37. And savor this win like our lawyers always tell me, try to find some time to enjoy it. Like literally last night, I poured myself a glass of wine, I took a bubble bath, and then I passed out. So try to find the happiness in this, because this is huge that a group of retired city workers spent their little pensions and sued the city since August of 2021. And today we've had 3 wins in the Campione case, all unanimous decisions, 13 judges saying what the city and the Municipal Labor Committee did to us was illegal. So I'm sure they'll put their spin on it, and I'll report that to you too. But for today, let's just enjoy this one and try to get more of the active workers to start paying attention, because no labor leader worth their salt to be called a labor leader should be diminishing healthcare benefits for their employees or their retirees. And if they did what they were supposed to do and adhered to that solemn duty that they had to protect us, then we never would have had a reason to exist. We could have been retired, enjoying our pensions and doing what we needed to do without having to fight the very people that were supposed to protect us. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going back to work. Love ya. I'll see you later.